Is share a little bit about our journey in Philippines till now. Talk a little bit about the company in terms of what our plans are overall across the globe, and then talk a little more about what are we specifically trying to do in the Philippines region over the next 3 to 4 years. I think I'll keep it very brief, and then maybe we'll spend most of the time answering questions that you have or anything that you want to discuss. So as a company, we were set up in 2000, and I should admit that we were possibly late as compared to other people coming into Philippines. We are a company with about 55,000 people. We operate in 6 countries. We have almost about 110 to 115 clients all across the globe. We look at 4 markets. We look at US, we are supporting Europe. We work for the UAE market, and we work for the Indian market. So those are the 4 markets that we support. And as I mentioned, these services for these companies, for the companies in these 4 markets, are being provided from 6 countries. In terms of verticals, we are focused on about 6 verticals. So our biggest vertical is the banking financial services vertical, which is almost about 35% of our revenues come from the banking financial services vertical. We have travel, transport, hospitality as the second big vertical that we have. We do services for retail companies. We do services for telecom companies. And off late, we've been providing a lot of services to e-commerce companies and retail companies. So those are the big industry verticals that we focus on. So we do 3 things. We do business services, which is primarily contact center or transaction processing activities. Most of the work that we do is just not one piece of voice work. It's a combination of voice and data, getting a required outcome for the client. So for example, when we do work around mortgages, we do origination of mortgage, which could potentially be a voice-related activity. Then we get the application, we create an account, which could be a transaction processing kind of an activity. Then we do underwriting, which is basically deciding whether a loan has to be given, not given, how much to be given, under what terms to be given, which is again significantly not only back office, but also it is involving decision-making processes. And then of course the disbursement and the entire life cycle management, which would again be a combination of transaction processing and voice-based activity. But what we have been doing more and more, almost about 85 to 90% of our business is where we do end-to-end services to get a particular outcome for our client. The second services that we're doing is technology. And we're not a technology as an IT company or an IT application development company, but we have almost over 120 different technology tools which could be plugged into any existing processes to enable us to build efficiencies. So for example, we have our own CRM solutions, we have our own scanning and workflow solutions, we have our own, a whole range of technology tools which basically build efficiencies for business processes that are outsourced. And finally, the third thing that we do is to help companies build a right target operating model, which is purely a consulting part of our business, with more than about 180 odd consultants all across the world, building very specific solutions to our clients, which gets them to outcome. So if you look at the industry, about 15, 16 years back when we started off, we were amongst the pioneers in this industry. 16 years back, it was all about just replicating what somebody did in the US or in the UK. Then came another part of our era where we were adding value in terms of the services being provided by applying things like Six Sigma, Lean, and more efficient ways of doing the same processes, which was outsourced to us. And then came another phase where we were deploying technology to build efficiencies. So we had a core platform of our clients on which we would provide the service, but we would build a peripheral technology solution which built more efficiencies to the business processes. And then now we are in almost the fourth part of the transformation of this industry, where you are providing a lot of intelligence to the business process, like analytics, understanding technology around industry vertical that we service, understanding the regulations that affect the industry that we're providing service on, the markets in which we're providing service. So there is much more intelligence applied to the work that we do to get an outcome. And the outcome could be growth, the outcome could be improving the cost structures of the company, the outcome could be improving customer experience, it could be better compliance, and a whole range of things. So what clients are saying is that, look guys, this is what we're doing. We're going to hand this over to you. We're not expecting you to replicate what we did about 15 years back. We're expecting you to build efficiencies using better ways of managing the business operation. We're expecting you to deploy technology, and we're expecting you to have the intelligence to get us to an outcome, which is growth or market share or whatever their core goals are. So that's the way the industry has been changing. And if you look at Philippines per se, we have almost invested about close to $15 million in this business. We have about close to 2,000 people working for us here in the Philippines. And I think we are still very small in this marketplace. Our near-term plan is to double this. We are confident of getting anything between 3,500 to 4,000 in the near term. But I think the big goal for us is in the next 3 years, our vision is to get this to at least 10,000 people. And I think that's a big thing for us. And I'm told by the person who heads our center here in the Philippines that that should be possible. We have a lot of clients who are asking us for service. So we are actually agnostic to the place from where we provide service. It is something that we decide based on what is the best for our clients, and that's what we really focus on. So if at all, for a client's operations, if at all our belief is, between us and the client, if the belief is that getting best service out of Philippines, I think we would offer the services from Philippines. If they think it is best offered out of UK, for example, then we would offer it out of UK. So that's how we're operating. But off late, in the last about year and a half, we have seen a lot of our clients. Predominantly earlier it was only US clients. Now we're also seeing clients in Europe who are saying that they are happy to get their services done out of Philippines. And that's the reason we are of our belief that we should be able to get to about 3,500 to 4,000 people by about in the near term, and at least about 10,000 in the next 3 years. So in terms of the region, we would definitely look beyond Manila. Not because of cost, not because of thing, but just because of the risk factors and just to manage risks more efficiently. We should be looking at other provinces as well. And we did a recent study which indicates that provinces outside Manila are also equally efficient in terms of providing services. And again, I don't want to say that it is because of cost reasons that we're trying to drive it outside Manila, but more because of availability of people, the availability of skills, and the risk management aspect of it. So let me stop at this point in time. As a company, as you know, our vision, we have given a paper which talks about our vision and our strategy, etc. More than happy to answer any questions. Even in the banking, it was more voice-based customer servicing kind of an activity. Some of the recent work that we've got is on corporate banking, for example, which is really high-end. It's not really just the retail end customer like any other customer of a retail company. It is a sophisticated person who is doing a corporate banking activity with us. So we're getting those kind of work, and clearly, as I mentioned, we're trying to do outcome rather than just a piece of activity. An outcome would mean much more than just customer servicing on a call. It is taking a decision, it is doing a transaction processing, it is closing a particular activity, which could be like, I give an example of mortgage. Ultimately, the outcome is you need to get to a person who is applying for a loan, a mortgage at the right terms.
Sir, if I were a person looking for a new job opportunities in a BPO, where should I apply? in intelenet?
I think we have got, as I told you, I mean, the near term we're almost looking at doubling, so I'm assuming other than the job of Vireshwar, I think everything is open.
But just to add to that, I think there is huge growth opportunities now within the region for intelenet. Given the fact that we're expecting to double, if you join us now, the opportunity for you to grow into something larger in the next 2-3 years is significantly higher within the organization.
Are you recruiting all of us?
So, from a recruitment perspective, I think most of our philosophy is that most of our senior and middle management positions are filled up by our internal employees, so people who rise through the ranks. So there's a lot of promotion opportunities. So if someone wants to join, this is a place where you'll see a lot of growth, where people can go from being a frontline associate to a team leader in about 12 months, 18 months. That's the kind of growth that we offer. Besides all the other benefits, which is competitive with what the market offers.
Just going back to my question.
Sure.
Sorry. Does that mean also that when you say consolidation, does this mean like some of the operations in the region, like, I don't know, will be transferred here or?
So we were operating, as I told you, we were not very sure about this market in terms of how it's going to grow and things like that. Our confidence over the last 2-3 years has been significantly more than what was in the past. So we started taking one floor at a time in another building here in Manila itself. And it was all scattered, into multiple floors. So people were not getting a sense of being in a house, it was like. So here we've got our own building, we've got cafeterias, we control everything in this building.
Alright, it simply means that all of your Philippine operations will be
It's
centered
just
here.
moving into this
Okay, I
building.
thought like it's somebody else is gonna, because it's BPO center. So, but you're an Indian company, right?
No, we are a global company, I would think, because
Where are you headquartered?
we are, so the company is owned by two sets of people. It's owned by the management team and Blackstone. So Blackstone is a US-based private equity fund, yes. And we have our holding companies in Singapore. We have a large part of our operations in India, but we also operate out of Philippines. We are in Guatemala, we are in US, North America, we are in UK, we are in Poland. So we are spread, and we are in 4 regions in the UAE. So we are pretty much a multinational company across the globe. But we don't look at it like a headquartered company.
But which is your biggest operation?
Biggest operations are in India. Out of 55,000 people, close to about 40,000 people are in India.
Everybody knows that Philippines and India are like rivals in the sector.
Because
Complement, you said?
I think so, because what happens is it's not what we decide where the services are offered from. It is not the cost drivers or how much margins we make out of the services that decide where we operate from. It is ultimately about delivery of an outcome. And I think people are now becoming very smart. They are saying that I'm not going to do things like turnaround times and average time for a call and all that. Old service levels are all gone. Now they want an outcome. So for example, just assume that in a healthcare environment, there is a 80-year-old lady calling in for an oxygen cylinder. Right? Now, is this best handled out of US? Is it best handled out of UK? Is it best handled out of Philippines or India? Ultimately, we have to ask that 80-year-old as to what would she like to, what kind of a voice would she like to have? What kind of service elements would she like to have? And that is being addressed. Versus somebody who is outsourcing investment banking back office. Completely different dynamics at that point in time. Or something which is extremely critical from a data security point of view. There may be some regions, clients may not be comfortable just getting service out of those regions. We would then possibly predominantly go onshore, which is either the UK or the US, rather than taking anywhere offshore.
And just to add, we find both India and Philippines very complementary. Top 10 clients globally for us, top 3 of them are in Philippines and India. So we actually have a hybrid solution where services are delivered for these clients both in India and the Philippines. So we don't see this as taking away from India and feeding into Philippines. I think both of them will grow simultaneously.
So, what do you outlook for this year?
I said, our vision is to get to 10,000 from current 1,800. 10,000 headcount.
In terms of revenues.
In terms of revenue, we are talking about close to 200 billion coming out of 10,000. Currently, what is the revenue that we have?
Currently, we are running at about close to about 30 million US dollars.
But that's the annual. If you take the run rate, we're almost at 38 to 40 million right now on a run rate basis.
So out of the $1 billion.
So you know that on average about $23,000 to $23,000 per person in the area like that. Take about 1,800 people around. And 10,000 should get you roughly about 200.
Productivity output per employee.
Yes.
Excuse me, what languages are you applying for in this BPO? Is it English only?
In Manila right now, we are only doing English. But we are open. We handle more than 50 languages right now all across the world. We do European languages, we do Arabic languages, we do a lot of Indian languages.
But here in the Philippines,
In Philippines right now it's only English, but we are planning also to.
Yeah. So we do have a few opportunities and potential clients that we're talking to, and there is a requirement or demand for some Asian languages, Mandarin, Japanese, Thai. So we're open to doing that in some limited numbers over here. So currently it's only English, but we're open to doing some Asian languages also.
how about the issue right now with their government? How are you handling this right now?
What is that? Sorry.
The issue,
I
separating.
think it's a little too early to decide on what's going to happen. I think ultimately, as far as businesses are concerned, it's all economic consideration. If a value can be delivered from here, people will continue to buy from there, irrespective of what happens in the political environments. Finally, I think those will be the key drivers, and customers will decide what they want and from where do they want the service. It's not going to be decided based on political considerations and things like that.
Sir, how many percent of the clients that you serve are from the US?
Right now, about close to 30% of our overall revenues come from the US market. About 35% comes from UK. About close to 7-8% of our revenues come from the UAE region, and the balance is all from India.
So, India is yours.
No, this is so. I told you we've got 4 markets. A market means
I mean,
there is a customer who's in that particular region who's outsourcing. That work could be handled from anywhere. If you look at the amount of work that we get from the US as compared to a percentage of our revenue, it's about 30%. 35% comes from UK region, so that's about 65. About 7-8% comes from the UAE region. That gets you to about close to 73. And then the balance 27% comes from India.
Will this center be supporting voice and voice?
Yes. So our one of the things that we have been doing over the last at least 5 to 6 years is rather than just doing a piece of work, we are trying to get our clients to do an activity which is end-to-end. And that would mean a combination of voice and non-voice work. So here also our intent is not just to be a voice-related people, but doing work which gets you an outcome for the client.
And what will be the mix of sort of lines of businesses that will be available here?
In terms of investments?
Lines of businesses, like, will it be just customer service or technical support?
So we've got, we're servicing about 6 industry verticals. We do banking financial services, we do travel, transport, hospitality, we do healthcare, we do work for retail companies, we do work for telecom companies, and off late we've been doing a lot of work for e-commerce companies. And for all these verticals, across all regions, which is US, UK and UAE, we we are offering services from here. So, I mean, UAE itself is a huge market. The local Filipinos who are there in the UAE region, or the Gulf region, they are a big set of consumers there, either to a retail market or to a banking industry. And when they call, they would be more than happy to get a service delivered out of Philippines, as compared to some of the regions from where the call is originating, because those could be expensive, the skills may not be available to do the service.
In terms of horizontal field, CRM, finance and accounting, back office, web chat, email, so essentially the entire horizontal which is there, specific to creating an outcome for an industry.
As an applicant, in terms of training, what could I expect? What extent of training could you provide to the rank going up to the management?
Absolutely. So we look at training from a very holistic level. So if you're fresh off the street, as we say, somebody who was not working in BPO in the past, so we will train you on basic customer service skills. So that's more like a 2 weeks foundation skills training. So that's basic customer service skills, voice and accent neutralization, and then that is followed up with what the client would have as specific to their account. So there will be some product process specific training. That after the foundation skills training and the product process training is when you're equipped to start handling calls or handling transactions or web chats of end customers. Beyond that, we also have upskilling and leadership training for each level. For an advisor to become a team leader, we have a training program for that. For a team leader to become a team manager, we have a training program for that. For a team manager to become ops manager, we have training programs for that. So we have leadership development, upskill training at each level, so that our employees are equipped to go to the next level. And we always have a bench strength of operational leaders. So that's the entire gamut of training, from right off the street to making you a senior leader.
Just to add, 90% of our supervisory staff globally come from internal workforce. So essentially our leadership training program facilitates growth of these people. So 90% of all our supervisory staff are internal.
What makes intelenet different from other BPO companies? What do they offer?
So I think, it's very difficult to define, because every 3 months somebody has got something which is different from the rest of the gang. We have not lost a single client from in the last 16 years, except for maybe 1 or 2 because of mergers, and something has merged with another company, or there was a different strategy of that company. But because of delivery issues or anything, we have not lost a single client. We have not lost a client because of price. We have never lost a client. Now, why do they stick with us? The reason they stick with us is because obviously we are delivering value to them, which is equal to what they expect for every dollar they spend on us. They be with us because we have been innovative in terms of building new technology solutions. For example, robotic process automation right now is a big thing, where how do you deploy robots to make a process more efficient? And it's a combination of human beings and robots working together to get you an outcome for the client which is more efficient than what the current thing is. Now, it's just not about having a robotic technology, but it is about applying the robotic technology to a given environment to get a desired outcome. That's what we've been innovating a lot over the last 2 years. So I think they are there because of innovation. They are there because of the relationship that you have with them. How do you manage that relationship? How much proactive are you? So it is about, there are instances where a client over the life cycle may have difficulties at a particular point in time. It could be cost pressures, it could be suddenly saying that, I overnight want 200 more seats, 300 more seats. Sometimes they come up with some unreasonable request. Now, do you have the ability to, manage that relationship through those periods of time? Are you willing to give a discount for a particular year because the client is in trouble? So those relationships matter a lot. I think we are clearly different from a lot of other people in terms of our people, our culture. It's a very flat organization. There is a lot of humility in this organization. We believe in a lot of fun. people when they come here don't feel that they're really coming to work and they're getting supervised and monitored. We give them a goal and we tell them that it is you who is supposed to find a way to get to that goal. We give them a bit of a boundary area in terms of where they need to operate, but we want them to decide what and how it has to be delivered significantly. And that makes the job much more interesting than money. It's not about money. We have extremely, very low attrition at our supervisory level. And as Prabhu mentioned, these are people who have come up. 90% of the people are internally promoted. A lot of them may not be the most smartest people. I mean, if you take Philippines as an example, Philippines industry grew up very fast. And a lot of supervisors here at one point in time, just because they were good as compared to the other 10 or 15 agents in terms of doing the work, they became a leader. But not necessarily they had an ability to manage those 15 people. They didn't have those leadership skills. But we invested in them and we told them that we're not going to, let you fail. We will invest in training you. We will allow you to figure out how to manage 15 people. We will give you time. You will do mistakes, but we will, as long as those mistakes are genuine, we will pardon it and we will work with you to make you successful. And I think that culture, it reflects in multiple forms. People end up owning things. So it will not that 8 hours is finished, so they go back home. If there's a crisis, they will stay back here. I mean, we've seen during the times of typhoons or anything that happens either here or outside, people have just responded saying that I'm going to work for 16 hours, I'm going to work for 24 hours, I'm not going to go away from this place because that's the affinity that we build in the team. And I think the culture here is also very strong service culture, very strong ownership culture. I mean, they want to win. So I think again, one of the reasons why we have moved into this facility and building a lot of things here, we've got a karaoke room here, we've got a whole range of things. Because if people are happy, it reflects in terms of a differentiation of us versus somebody else. It's very difficult to keep this homely environment when you become big. You become like an industrial organization. But to keep that touch and feel and keep that one home environment is very different. Once you do that, then I think you're clearly a differentiated player as compared to others. In terms of skills, technology, everybody copies, 3 months somebody else is better on one aspect, after somebody else is better in another aspect.
For your expansion plan for the next 3 years, how many sectors do you plan to?
All the sectors, as I told you, we are not telling them only X sector will grow here or Y sector. We're telling our clients, look at this delivery location. It has got, these case studies in terms of, a lot of people have just stopped peaking at about 3,000 seats or 4,000 seats. A lot of our competition has just stopped at that. But we are very strongly believing that. That's the reason you're seeing me making the investment. We're taking a call on this building. We're looking at many more locations to expand over a period of time in Philippines. And the only reason we're doing that is because we believe across all sectors, people will be interested. Across all markets. I mean, I told you about UAE, the whole Gulf region. We're offering them services out of here. Almost 95-97% of the companies here in Philippines are only servicing either the US market or at best the UK market. But we are wanting even the UAE market to be serviced out.
Sir, there's a lot of concern about call center jobs being lost to robotics. And of course, we are claiming that Philippines is already claiming that we are in the mid-level skills of the BPO. How do you handle this? As you said, you offer end-to-end solutions, like you can escalate from voice to other services. Is there a shift from, you say, less of the voice here, or?
See, I think it's 100% robots will play a role in work. In our daily lives, they play a role. But what is happening is, at the same time, so at one end, the robots are going to be taking over a lot of mundane, repetitive, tasks. But human beings are extremely good at complicating things also. So, for example, if you take about 7-10 years back, somebody would call and say that I'm not able to, get voice calls, or I'm not able to connect to your data network, or my battery is getting drained out. Or some simple questions 10 years back people would call us. It's a telecom customer. Now somebody is calling and saying that I just downloaded this application on my new iPhone 7 and it is conflicting with this new iOS that is coming, so give us a fix. Now obviously these are things because the telephone has become complicated, the telecom service provider has become complicated, and the query that is coming from a customer who has also become complicated over the last 10 years. It's creating a new kind of a demand. So people will have to get reskilled to handle sophisticated, complicated things, which are fast changing and fast evolving. So if you take the means of transport, for example, there would have been potentially only just 2 options or 3 options. Now we've got many more options. Or the way in which people are working, I mean, people will not come anymore to centralized offices to work, they'll operate from a decentralized environment. So all these changes will create a new set of demand for services, which I think will keep the demand going for the BPO industry as well.
There is a growing, somewhat growing sector of employees who are exploring work from home opportunities here in the Philippines. Is that something that intelenet has looked into, or any opportunity that may come up?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a strategy we've used in the US very effectively. We have about 15,000 people working from home in the US. It's the same strategy we try and bring into the Philippines. So as we grow this business, we expect about 10 to 15% of the population to work from home in the Philippines. So we know how to do it. We've done it in the US, and we try and replicate it here in Manila or in Philippines as a region.
So we go to somebody's house, we tell them, they tell us, okay, I've got a child, so I can only work from, say, 9 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon, and I can work from 6 in the evening to 8 in the evening. So we create an infrastructure in their house, which is basically a kind of a booth, a kind of a small booth with a computer, so to a large extent soundproof, so that, you know, if there's a dog in the house, it doesn't make a call.
In the Philippines case, it's a chicken.
Chicken. And depending on their time slots of when the chicken is not going to, goods is not going to disturb you, the calls are, or the work is handed over to people.
And then there's a full technology, a software, which pushes work to them at home and then records the work they do, clocks the time, productivity. So there's a full process of managing that. And we're familiar with how to do that.
But it works in the US. But do you think it's going to work here?
We'll have to experiment. I think a
It
lot of,
hasn't been done, not on a larger scale though, but.
yeah. But I think as the demand grows and as you start going for workforce in the size which we're referring to, some of these flexible options will have to be explored.
Just have to have like faster
Yeah.
bandwidth.
But if you look at the amount of productivity, of human productivity that is just lost, either because of traveling or because they are not able to come because of house commitments or whatever nature, especially, for mothers at a very early stage, they may be extremely efficient and productive, but just because there's a child now for the next 1 year, the mother cannot work, right? Productivity is lost. Now, if at all you can create mechanisms for these productivity losses to be captured back in some form.
And we're always tuned to think of voice. I mean, like Sushil mentioned, we're moving into a more hybrid model of voice and back office. At home working for back office, extremely productive.
We'll have you all in terms of questions.
Feel free to write to us. I mean, we can give you an email if at all there's any specific question. Drop in a note, and we'll be happy to answer. But thank you very much for coming this morning, and
Thank you.
I think we need all your wishes to make us successful, and I think it's a win-win for everybody.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
us today. Thank you. Joining us also today, we have JP Yusinko of PEZA joining us for this morning or this afternoon. We also have Honorable Jojo Aaron, the Councilor of 2nd District, Taguig City, who is joining us today, the representative of Mayor Cayetano. Honorable Alan Oliman, also joining us today from Fort Bonifacio Barangay Chair. Thank you so much. We also have Ms. Penny Bongado, of course, Executive Director, Talent Development and Research of IBPAP, joining us and also with us today. We also have the presence of Jessie Carpio, the President of Punong Bayan and Aralio, joining us today, together with Janice Medina, Director of Punong Bayan and Aralio. Let's give them a big round of applause. We have Harish Dondi of Cortex PH with us as well. Let's give them a round of applause. JP Balboa of Mega World and Leo Lloyd Kagurong of Mega World also with us this morning. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. All right, I think we're all excited and ready. Are we ready to begin? Yes. And are we ready from the back? I think we are. Are we ready? All right, so once again, this is the inauguration of intelenet Manila's the news site. Let's give them a big round of applause once again. And let's get it on with the festivities. Of course, to open for this morning, we would like to call in Ang Gonna Win and Some.